Hello everyone, this is Jean-Pierre and Limo TV. You all are on Limo TV watching. I have my guest. You might be acquaintance to him. His name Akbar. Today we are going to talk about mental illness. We come from far in Africa where we have a way of living. We have a way of dealing with our issues, our happiness, our sadness, but being in a place where you have to redo, to reshape yourself can be daunting and can lead to depression, to all kind of disease. So we are going to emphasize on mental illness. He's willing to share with you his knowledge about mental illness. So welcome, Akbar.
Thank you very much.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let's go ahead. Do you know anything about mental illness?
Yeah, I know something about mental illness because I have had depression myself. Every individual pass through depression, and it's not. I think in many cultures this is related to a taboo. I think depression is seen as being weak, is seen as being failed, is seen as being strange, and many people face depression in the world, and depression it's not a taboo. It's just a different way of being in a specific time because of certain circumstances in life, and it's not a shame. It's not a curse, or it's not something God has sent you to punish you.
Let's go back in Africa. Let's dive into our root in Africa.
Yeah.
We tend not to acknowledge that we have depression because there we have a big social network system where you can talk about certain things shamelessly, but when we arrive here abroad, we tend to isolate ourselves. So can you tell us how you reach that point of feeling that you are depressed, and tell us about the process, please?
I think when I was depressed, it's long ago. The reason was I lost my dad, then I lost my mother, and I was in a time of study. I was living abroad, and when you live abroad, you do have also other expectation in the society where you live, and I would say that the process is quite very different, and many people have depression in different ways. I started just to feel that, when I was back, in fact, from my mother's funeral in 2015, I was delivered one of the greatest conference in my life. It was one of the first conference I had in the field that I'm working with.
I need you to tell me something.
Yeah.
When you feel depressed, what kind of symptoms do you get? Because some people, they don't know that they are into it already. So maybe we can relate to you and try to figure out when and how do you feel depressed.
When I was making ready my speech for the next day, I was totally confused. I was telling myself, I can't make it. I started to feel, I want to cry for any, just having tears in my eyes, feeling that, I'm getting the symptom on being tired and all these things. And what happened was that I did the conference, and some part of it went good, some part of it went bad, because I also said my mother died. I think I talk about many things in the speech, and the public were a bit confused, I think. But I say that to the closest person, and then I come back at home and I decided to take care of the depression. I think depression comes in very different symptoms. There are depression related to the loss of someone. There is depression related to actually fail in a relationship, jobs expectation. I think you can feel isolated, you can feel tired, and you can feel that it's a very difficult for many people, and people should seek help. They should demand help. And I think in our society, because I myself as Burundian, but also as Indian heritage from the Indian community in Burundi, we all deal with the same taboo. Depression, my first sister Rosmin, has been sick with bipolarity for all her life. And it was very, very difficult in the family because my father was happened to be blessed in the work he was doing, but he was not educated. And my mother was educated to a certain extent. One of my sister has medical studies and another one law. And for the large part of my sister's life, it has been only related to spiritual diseases. As you know, we are Muslim and they related to genes that people have spirits. Whoever I argue that spiritual diseases does exist, but I think in order to solve the mental problem, we need a combination of the medicine, the modern medicine, and also the traditional medicine cannot be excluded. Both of them have so different function, but they also complete each other.
As I said, we should talk about also like Africans who are abroad. I said we have a sense of community back home. So when something crashes or happens, we are blown away. It's like we can't handle it anymore. So how can we organize ourselves to prevent our sisters and brothers not to lose it? Because I've seen people taking drugs, like heroin, Demerol, all kind of drugs, and then they end up like in the hospital, or they can even lose their life. So
I think what is important first of all is that people who are depressed and dealing about human problems such as feeling, many people who live abroad also come to new society and they have a lot of expectation. Many of the society of the West has been heaven described to many people, and when they come there, so certain thing doesn't work the way they want, and this create sort of disappointment and also the fear of showing to the community that their plan has failed. I think people should come to the point that they should not shame people. They should not shame people, and also realize that people are people. I think it's very important to build an open community where people talk about the issue without being terrified to be judged, to be imperfect, and to have failed, but to come with a lot of understanding in the questions.
I'm not really in a good place to find a solution, but maybe your suggestion to tackle this problem, because it's an ongoing problem. It's ongoing.
I think there is a huge issue that trauma are not taken seriously. People who come from context of war, social difficult context, social context of abandon, all these trauma are really, really important. People are going through depression because in different ways. Some people get quiet, some people get isolate. So the knowledge of the mental illness has to be also brought into table. I think the culture of silence has to end in order to do these things, because we are not made perfect. We will never be perfect. So people have to open up, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to feel failed. It is a feeling, but you can overcome it.
As Akbar said, we need to get out of the box and try to accept to be vulnerable, to accept to expose our problems. Because in our culture, when you have an issue, you tend to wrap it up and not saying anything. So,
it's not only in our culture. I mean, I've been in the West too. I realize that the Western society has a so different way of dealing with issue. Depression is not open as people think. People still being ashamed to be depressed. People who have mental illness are still being isolated, are still not getting the help they require to get in the society. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to seek the right help. And I can provide that help if people reach me. People can reach me, I can provide guideline after this program that people can email me in my email and share their problem. I can see if I can help them with advice, because mental illness has to be tackled.
50 seconds to address the last word, please.
Me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I would just say that for the people of my country, il faut kumenya yuko depression canke ingwara yo mu mutwe atari kwiruka gusa mw'ibarabara. Nibaza yuko ingwara ziri kwinshi, kandi ifopa kugira isoni. Abantu baragiye mu buhungiro, baraciye mu bihugu vy'ingwano, baraciye mu bintu vyinshi. Ifo yuko buguruka bakasaba imfashanyo ya depression, kandi ifo yuko abarundi bose bari mu mahanga baterera mu Burundi vraiment bakagira ama hopital meza cyane yo ingwara yo mu mutwe, bakavura abana baciye mu matrauma ya politiki, amatrauma y'ingwano, hama dushobore guteza imbere igihugu cacu.
Whoever is watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to get updates. So thank you and see you soon.